So who else took a short position on Tesla today? What's going on, team? It's Ricky with Tactical Solutions. It's definitely not something that I do very often, but Tesla on the 4-hour time frame, we actually began shorting Tesla during our Learn Plan Profit live trading session this morning. And one of the things that I really liked about my short position is I really only began to add more to my position when Tesla aggressively began to pull on back. And by aggressively, Tesla still only pulled back 4%. It's a blue chip stock. It's not one that's going to move a crazy dollar amount within a very short period of time. So I had a lot of fun with it. I wanted to share, what led to my success today, what I did to manage and mitigate risk, and where I'm at as of right now, right? So at one point today, I had over 770 shares. I had a little bit over $500,000 betting against Tesla. So for those that are not familiar with what that means, is normally when you go long on a stock or when you buy a stock, your hope, right, is for it to go up, right? You make money as it increases in value. A short position is a little bit different. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, one of the things that I talked about is I had an active short position and I added more to that short position, meaning that I was making money as it was selling off. So you first sell and then you buy to cover. It sounds a little bit confusing, but once you understand the concept, it becomes a lot easier. One of the things that you have to take into consideration is theoretically, there is no cap at how high a stock can go. So you need to make sure that if you're about to take a short position, your risk management has to be A1, which is one of the main reasons that I don't necessarily always like talking about it, because it comes at a greater form of risk, especially for beginners. So make sure you take that into consideration, and especially with a stock that has been so bullish like Tesla. So what would have influenced me today to take a short position on Tesla? Well, you guys can see that Tesla has been consolidating right below $700 a share. It was identifying a resistance level, right? You guys can see that it really struggled to ever break above $700. And normally, not always, but normally, when it begins to consolidate there, it's validating a resistance level, and we tend to see pullbacks. That's what I was preparing for. So once it broke below the EMA on the 4-hour time frame for Tesla, you could see that on the 5-minute chart. It's very easy to see then that Tesla began to aggressively sell off. You could even see it on the 1-day, 1-minute chart where Tesla began to make these lower lows, lower highs. It tried to break back above 665, which is a previous support level. So if you guys go back to the 4-hour time frame, the last time that it pulled on back, right? The last time that it hit almost highs of 700, it quickly pulled on back and it hit highs of, hit lows of 665, 667, around that general area. And then it found a support level. So I was very careful. And this is what we talked about in the live trading session, where on the 1-minute time frame, you can see that it was almost beginning to consolidate and find a support level. But what I talked about is, hey, if we begin to make higher highs, I'm going to have to cover my short completely, meaning that I'm going to have to lock in profits, as again, I really took most of my short position up here. So I would still be able to lock in profits, but I want to make sure that I don't ride it all the way back up and giving back everything that I made, right? But if we break below 660, if you guys go back to the Learn Plan Profit live trading session this morning, what I talked about is I can easily see Tesla testing the 650 support level. And, it began to make these lower highs, lower lows. I thought it was a recipe for success. I began to add more to my short, and then it broke below 660. And this is where, some of you guys might be like, oh man, $500,000 in Tesla, and it dropped, at 1.3.5% today. I probably made a decent dollar amount. One of the things that I tend to do, especially when I have a larger dollar amount in place, right? And this is why I want to share it with you guys, right? My trades today were in no way perfect, right? As it began to go in my favor, and as Tesla began to sell off, reminder, the more that Tesla sells off, the more money I make because I'm shorting it. I had $500,000 in Tesla, so I was already up a decent dollar amount. And as it broke below 660, my goal was to sell at 650. But a goal is something to work towards, not something that that has to play out according to plan. So what I began to do, and I wanted to share the screenshots with you guys, I wanted to share my sell orders. I began to aggressively sell or cover my short position on Tesla. I was not afraid to lock in profits. And I want to share two things with you, right? First off, no one goes broke by locking in profits, right? At the end of the day, yeah, a lot of people like to allow their runners to run, and I do agree with that approach. But sometimes the second thing is I make more rational decisions more informed decisions when I don't have so much money on the line. And being completely honest, having $500,000 in Tesla, shorting it when Tesla was previously bullish, that is a risky trade. And I need to take that into consideration that currently on the 1 day, 1 minute chart as a day trade, the short position makes sense. But I don't want to be caught on a reversal. And although I want to sell at 650, I don't want to hope that it hits that price point and then I hold and then it never does and then ends up fully recovering. Do you get what I mean? So what I wanted to do is, as it was going according to plan, I began to buy to cover, which means pretty much just locking in my profits and reducing my position size on that short position. So as we got closer and closer and closer, I got to the point where I covered some of my shorts at 652. And it's not a perfect trade to hit lows of 651. And again, I was intending to lock in overall profits at 650. But I did my part in getting in when it made sense, right up here, when I got that confirmation on the 4-hour time frame. And as it sold off, I stepped on the gas pedal. I added more to my position. Why? Because the direction is in my favor. If I'm making money and I see that it's bleeding, I make money as it bleeds, right? So I want to add more to that fuel, right? I want to add more fuel to that fire. That's a better analogy. And then once we got consolidation, potential support level, I had to reduce it a little bit there, right? And then as it broke below the 660, I was like, hey, I think that it can hit lows of 650. I'm going to add more to my short, but then I quickly began to cover as it began to make sense that, hey, at 650, it's already pulled back nearly 3 to 4% on the day. I made a decent dollar amount. It's probably not as great as you guys would think it would be, especially with the $500,000. My main focus today was, yes, I stepped on the gas pedal, meaning I took a heavy position when Tesla was aggressively selling off, but I didn't hesitate to lock in profits. I didn't allow the idea of trying to make the most money overwhelm my trade decisions. And that's always what I'm here to encourage you. Just make sure that the decisions that you make today are the best for your future self. And I think that's always, the most ideal situation or position that we can ever put ourselves in. Today could have gone completely south for me, right? It could have ended up reversing or fully reversing. And at the end of the day, even if it did play out that way, I did my part in selling when it was in my favor. So if I sold the majority of my position then and then ends up reversing, think about this. By having a lighter position, it would be much easier for me to manage my risk, cut losses, lock in profits. If I want to decide to buy back in, then I can make that decision a lot easier because I have less money on the line. And this is a simple question for all of you guys. How many times are you put in a difficult position where you have to make the decision, do I lock in profits? Do I cut losses? Do I reduce my position size? But it's almost a cloudy question because you have so much money on the line that it's overwhelming because you have so much emotion attached to this decision. I feel like when I have less money on the line, I make more rational and more informed decisions, and that's all it was. As we went sub 660 and working towards 650, I wanted to make the most well and informed decisions as I could. I knew that it didn't have to go according to plan, so I wanted to do my part in slowly locking in profits, buying to cover. And if it continues to sell off, then I still have, again, a little bit of money in my short position that I can ride Tesla as it continues to bleed. Letting you guys know, I do not plan to hold my short position on Tesla. Tesla has been very bullish, as overall tech has been very, very bullish, which is why my intention was to day trade this short position and not swing trade it. You have to understand the difference when the opportunity like this presents itself. So I'm super excited to follow up. Just wanted to explain to you guys on why I decided to take my short position, what I saw as a confirmation on the 4-hour time frame, and then how I approached it with both my position size and, of course, not being afraid to lock in profits to make rational and informed decisions. So again, it's not a perfect trade, but it's something that still led to a successful short trade. So I hope that I earned your thumbs up. Please consider subscribing, and just letting you guys know, if you're an absolute beginner, we do run one of the largest free Facebook groups in the world, and that's that first link in the description. Also, a lot of you guys have been commenting on the different tank tops and apparel that I've been wearing. All of this, as in my mouse pad and all the different stuff that we show in these videos, are all stuff that we make. These shirts are actually relatively pretty cheap, and we offer free shipping. It's at shoptechbuds.com, and that's that third link in the description. And feel free to check it out. You guys can use promo code DIALED, and that will earn you a total of 15% off your total checkout price. So I really do appreciate you guys' time. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.